What's going on, everybody? Josh, starter raingutterbusiness.com. If you want to learn how to make this corner, stay tuned. Alright, so we're working with some KWM box cutter. This is 5-inch. And we're going to be doing an inside corner on this guy, handmade. I've got this one already made with tabs, which we will show you a video on how to make the tabs here in a little bit. But one of the most important parts about making handmade corners is the measurement. So you have to be really particular about how everything fits up, because I have an inside corner here and I'm going into an outside corner. So you have to plan it out really well. So I'm also going to have tabs over here. All this water is running this way to a downspout, and so I'm going to want to float this tab corner, like the back of the gutter, the back tab, off of this fascia a little bit, enough to slide the next gutter into it. So the easiest way to do that is to measure fascia to fascia, and then you just add like a 30-second, like just add a little, like cut on the long side of your line basically. So I'm going to measure from here, make sure my fascia looks nice and square, and measure off the high, this is cupped a little bit, so I'll measure off the high part of the cup, so I'm plenty long. And then I will go to the fascia because my gutter needs to butt into that back corner. And it's going to be 95 and 7/8. 95 and 7/8. All right, so let's go cut it. So the quickest way to do this is to make yourself a little template and make sure this template is perfect. So I made this thing. It fits in here, and then made a few gutters with it. And there's always a little bit of tweaking, but after you kind of get one of these fine-tuned pretty well, they work really good. And it's a lot quicker than trying to mark everything out with a speed square. So you just throw it in there. I'm doing an inside corner on this, on the right side of the gutter. So I already have my tabs up there, so this one's just going to be a perfectly straight cut to sleeve into those tabs. And my favorite way to do these is to cut it just a little bit long for the first cut, like a 1/4 inch extra. And then kind of finely tune, cut back to your pencil line. That way it distorts the metal a lot less if you can have a pretty thin strip of metal to cut away rather than a big block of it. So I got it. I have a 1/4 inch extra on there. Now I'm just kind of finely tuning right to my pencil. And if you're looking at this and only do K-style, I am way more particular with this stuff than K-style. For one, this has a lot of sharp, clean edges, so I want to make it look really nice. And then two, we charge quite a bit more for box cutters, so try to give them the highest quality product that I can give. Inside corner, now our other side's an outside, so I'll mark that out. This is an outside, so I'm marking the back, but I need to leave an extra 6 inches for my angle and the flaps. And instead of going exactly 6, I usually just run it a little long and then just trim it off. Saves you a little bit of time. All right. So I always used to like to use my speed square to get a nice straight line for the back. And that gives me a mark from exactly what our measurement was down to the bottom, and then line the template up with that. I'm doing tabs on this one, so cut my top even and then tabs from there. For the tabs, I just guess about 1 inch for tabs, and it could be a little more, a little less than that, but just as long as you have something there to rivet to. And you don't have to be near as particular with this cut just because it's all this going inside of another gutter, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And details like where you snip this to are pretty important to how it fits. Like if I snip that down a hair to where there's a little lip, it fits into the next gutter a lot easier. So that next gutter is coming into here. There's going to be a layer of metal. Yeah. The other top lip's going to come in. So if I leave a little gap there, it fits together a lot nicer. And basically when you're doing this, you're just thinking of this other gutter coming into here and what needs to be trimmed off. So this little guy will overlap a little bit, and then all these will be bent. All these flatter faces, it makes them turn out a little sharper. There it is. So if I'm hanging longer gutters like this handmade corners by myself, the easiest way to do this is to kind of flex this out towards the fascia. That way it scoops around that next gutter easier. So kind of pop this out and you can fish this in, sleeve it together easier by yourself. Okay, so if you can't quite get it in there by hand, one trick is to, I'll get this thing about where I want it, and then I can angle my screw in like this way, so it'll tighten this gutter into that corner. And then putting the corner together fits pretty good. I have this little gap right here. So to fix that, you can just shove a little wedge in right here, and it'll go away. I use my flathead screwdriver a lot for that. Works pretty good. And then, so I kind of get the bottom where I want it in place, and then throw a rivet in. And it's pretty much, will hold it where I want it after the one rivet. So you just kind of move it around to where it looks good. I've seen a lot of you guys hating on Facebook about rivets or screws in the bottom. But here in Montana, the issue that we have is expansion contraction is pretty drastic with the temperature changes. And it'll literally, if you don't put screws or rivets in the bottom, I would recommend rivets. You guys are right about the screws. Screws definitely leak easier, but that needs to be tied together on the bottom, because the push-pull of the expansion contraction will, after the glue is about a couple, year or two old, it'll just crack the glue because it pushes and pulls so much. So I like to put plenty of rivets in the bottom of these. I do. I like kind of a nice pattern with them. One on each end, and then one right where these seams line up with the other gutter. So I'll show you how those look. Boom, bottom's done. Now I'll tie the front together. Another trick when you're doing the front is, I have my hangers here and here. If you don't have your corner quite cut right or whatever, you can always loosen or kind of over tighten one of the hangers. Either way, this one's pretty good and they float plenty to get them to match up good, but that's one trick you can use to, if this isn't quite reach, then you can just loosen this hanger to get it kind of pulled into place to where it looks nice. And you don't notice a gap. You'll have a little bow in the front of the gutter coming into it, but you don't notice that near as much as the corner not being tight. Obviously, the best solution is just get better at doing hand cut miters. And there it is. Custom made 5-inch KWM box cutter, hand cut miter. And I also put one of my hanger screws like right through the back tab here, just to hold the backs together. Another thing you can do is kind of push these tabs in. If you have any big gaps or whatever, you can push the tabs from the inside to kind of bend the two pieces of metal together. So that one looks pretty good though. Okay, so outside corner is pretty much the same thing, just opposite. It's kind of funny when you have a template, they fit, one usually fits a little different than the other, which is kind of just which side of your template you're using really. But this one turned out good. If you need a little bit more space like on your front to cover everything, you can trim the back off a little, like trim a little slice off the back and slide it over. But this one turned out really good, so pretty happy with it. Thanks for watching. Hope this helped you guys out a little bit, seeing how I did these custom corners. And we'll see you on the next one. Make sure and comment below, subscribe, like. Thanks for watching.